Hello and welcome to In Touch with Durham County. I'm Deborah Craig Ray, General Manager of Strategic Planning and Innovation. Joining me is our co-host, Wendy Jacobs, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you, Deborah. We bring this show to you to share vital information about the wonderful programs and services provided by Durham County government.
Brenda Hayes-Bright, Project Manager with Durham County Engineering and Environmental Services, joins us to discuss the progress of the main library expansion and renovation. And if we have time, she will briefly talk about the recent move into the new Administration 2 building. Veteran Services Director Lois Harvin-Ravin and Jonathan Crooms, Veteran Services Officer, are here to talk about the benefits and services they provide for our men and women who have served in the military. Chair Jacobs, let's begin our conversation.
Thank you, and thank you, Brenda, for being here with us today to talk about the main library renovation and your role as one of our project managers. And can you just tell us a little bit about, what you do and what your role is, and especially in regards to the main library project?
Sure. A project manager with Durham County, my job is to be the liaison with the contractor, the architect, and the consultants. Our job is to make sure the construction and design of the facility meets the requirements of the user group and meets the intended use for the facility.
So you do a lot of different jobs.
Yes, ma'am.
So we know people are familiar with the library system and that we have renovated some of our other libraries and built some new libraries. Why has it taken us a while to come to finally do the main library?
Well, over 10 years ago, the Board of County Commissioners signed off to create a regional plan for all of the libraries. And so now that all the regional branches have been constructed, the main library is the last piece in that puzzle.
So we saved the best for last, right?
Indeed.
Can you tell us about, who helped us redesign the building and, who's doing the construction?
Yes, the architect is Vines Architecture. They're located in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the CMAR, which is the construction manager at risk, is a joint venture between Skanska USA and Holt Brothers.
Right, so we know we're really proud of that, the minority business participation. We're proud that it's a lot of local businesses working on that. I know that we have certain goals about energy efficiency. Can you tell us about what's happening with the main library and why that's important?
Yes, that's important. The county decided to construct all LEED buildings if possible, and the library actually meets those goals as well. It will be constructed as a LEED certified building. If possible, the goal may be to even meet LEED silver.
Wow. And can you just tell us what does LEED stand for?
LEED is Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, and it covers the materials, the finishes that are used in a facility. If you meet certain requirements, then you get points, and the number of points determine what level of LEED certification you receive.
Well, thank you, and we're very proud that Durham County has that as one of our goals, and so that we're being energy efficient, and we're creating actually more comfortable buildings for people to be in.
So Brenda, let's talk about some of the new features in the library. What will people notice first?
There are a couple of things that people will notice. There will be a new amphitheater on the exterior. There will also be an auditorium that will have a telescopic seating area that will allow flexibility in the auditorium. They're looking to have book sales in there. They can move the seating back and allow that to progress in there. There's also going to be lots of light in the space, lots of color. And we're all looking forward to seeing it as part of the building structure.
And I think I'm really excited about that grand staircase. Can you talk about that?
Yes. The new entrance for Main will be from Liberty Street. And once you go through the new opening, the first thing you'll see will be the monumental stair. This stair extends up to the new fourth floor. Originally, the building was 3 stories, and we've added a 4th level. And if you're standing on the monumental stair as part of the additional light in the space, you'll see a huge skylight, and it's going to be a great feature for the building.
This is nice.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely gorgeous. So, we have people of all ages coming to the library. How will the new redesign assist with programming for different ages?
Okay. Part of the programming will involve a multi-sensory environment. It'll be for individuals with special needs and their caregivers. We're also looking at a co-working space, which will, it'll be on the 4th floor, and it'll support the new atmosphere in downtown Durham. In addition to a music and production studio, there will be 3D printing, as well as areas for computers for the public. So lots to look forward to.
Wow, so it just sounds wonderful.
Oh, it's going to be a great space. Now, you mentioned earlier the amphitheater. Talk about some of the things that we might see go on there.
They may have a movie night. You can sit, it's seating on the exterior. There will be place for entertaining groups, concerts, lots of places for the makerspace to spill out from their space, as well as the auditorium, onto the exterior plaza at the foot of the amphitheater.
This is going to be really exciting. So recently we had a topping off of the space. Please tell our viewers what is topping off and who was participating.
It is the topping out ceremony is a milestone in a construction project. It is celebrated by the construction company for the workers who've been involved. And the reason is to witness the placement of the last piece of structural steel in the construction. And as far as participation, there were people from the Board of County Commissioners, County Manager's Office, the public, the general managers, engineering, library staff, as well as the library director and a host of other folks involved.
So it was really a fun day.
And everybody signed that beam, which was really fun.
That's right. Everybody signed the beam.
It was really also a great opportunity to recognize all the workers who have worked on that project. And I did meet some folks, some Durham residents who had gotten jobs with the project, and that was great to see. So I had mentioned that day that I thought that the main library would become the new center of downtown Durham. And how was this project designed to be part of all the redevelopment happening in downtown Durham?
Well, of course, it'll be highly visible as it's grown another floor, as well as it's going to be a place of destination for all ages. There'll be something for everyone. And it'll be a wonderful addition with extra meeting rooms and spaces for small businesses to come and grow. And if they need to print a 3D replica of whatever their product is, they have that opportunity. But for the most part, it'll be a downtown draw and definite destination.
Absolutely. So speaking of downtown, I know we just have been opening up our new administration building, Admin 2, which I know you have been a part of that. Could you tell us about some of the departments that residents will now find have relocated from the county building directly across the street?
Yes. Tax, Register of Deeds, EMS, Soil and Water, Forestry, our office, Engineering, as well as General Services Security Operations Center, have relocated to the building. On Friday, actually, Juvenile Justice will relocate to the facility as well.
Okay, great.
So I would imagine, as we traditionally do, we're going to have sort of a grand opening or ribbon cutting. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The ribbon cutting is scheduled for October 15th. The time is to be determined, but it'll be a great opportunity for the community to come out and tour the new building.
Okay, and also, before we let you go, I would love to also make sure our residents know about, with the admin building, some of the public features there on the first floor. There'll be community rooms, but can you also tell us about the 2 new restaurant opportunities that we want residents to know about? And how they can find out about it too.
They are currently, there's an RFQ out for the restaurants. That's not been determined yet, but once the restaurants submit their qualifications, there will be a review panel to review the submittals and shortlist, and then they'll move on to the next process. But it's not been determined yet who that will be.
And where can people find out if they want to apply for that?
They can contact our open space and real estate department, and they will have all the information. There's also a copy of it on the Durham County website.
Great.
This is just so exciting. Yeah, we've had a great conversation, and we just want to thank you so much for what you and your department do to help us occupy these new spaces, these beautiful new spaces. How can people get more information about Main Transformation, I think you call it?
Yes. You can Google Durham County Library /Transformation Main, and that's a great location to keep up with what's going on. They have a series called Inside the Fence, where they will show photographs, and there's also a video of the topping out ceremony.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And again, we appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brenda.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll discuss the great work of Durham County Veterans Services. Stay with us.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Welcome back. Lois, Harvin-Ravin and Jonathan Crooms are with us today from Durham County Veteran Services. Chair Jacobs, let's begin our conversation.
Thank you, Lois and Jonathan, for being with us here today. And can you tell us about what it is that you do to help our residents in Durham County who are veterans?
So thank you, Chairman Jacobs. Myself, Lois Harvin-Ravin, Jonathan Crooms, Lindsay Atkins, and Manuel Salvadero, we call him Tony, has joined us. We are pending one edition of VSO, but our primary mission is to improve the lives of our veterans and their family. And how do we go about doing that? We make sure that we make our services available to our veterans and their family members to improve their lives, to help them thrive and live in Durham County by making benefits such as compensation, which is a financial benefit that is afforded veterans for an illness or injury or disease that has been caused or aggravated by military service, housing assistance, home loans, educational benefits, employment, medical assistance, and other benefits that we make readily accessible to veterans by letting them know where we're located, which is 414 East Main Street, We're located in the Human Services Building on the first floor. We're there Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m.
So you're covering a lot of different benefits for veterans. What do you feel like is the overall goal of what you're trying to do?
Our primary mission is simply to improve the lives of our veterans and their family, and that's how we go about doing that. We do our part in the community. As you may or may not know, Durham County serves some 14,900 veterans. Our trend this year is to make our benefits more accessible. We determined that 77% of our veterans here in Durham County are not in receipt of benefits, and that's not a good thing. And so Jonathan, who you'll hear from shortly, his primary goal is outreach. And we're out trying to get what we call our newbies, folks who have never applied for benefits before, folks who don't even know that they're potentially eligible. When I say folks, I'm talking about my veterans and their surviving spouses and eligible dependents. Don't know they're potentially eligible for benefits. So we're changing the language. We're saying, have you ever served in the military? Because sometimes folks don't recognize themselves as a veteran by saying, I'm a veteran. So we want to know if you served in the military, if your spouse is serving in the military, or if your father, come see us.
Wow, so 77% we still need to reach. So that's a great goal for us to have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, is Durham County unique? We have a local office, but not everybody does that. Talk about that a little bit, please.
I think it was back in 2014, Durham County also had North Carolina Division of Veterans Affairs. They have now become North Carolina Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, had a local office here in downtown Durham. They left us back in 2014, and they had a staff of about 5. That had a tremendous impact and a negative impact at that, serving 14,000 veterans here in Durham County. At that time, it was just myself. We've grown, thankful to our county manager and to our county commissioners. We've grown over the past 6 years since I've been here. And so having a local office to keep those veterans and their family members from having to travel all the way to Winston-Salem, which give or take is probably, I don't know, I'd venture to say about 72 miles or so from here. That's not feasible for them to travel every single time they need to see a representative to travel to the Winston-Salem office. So our leadership has provided service locally for our veterans here. And, you know, even though our office hours are generally 8:30 to 5, over the last couple of years, we've extended those hours. Sometimes during a period of time, we're open to 7 o'clock to accommodate. We try to open one Saturday out of the month to accommodate our veterans and their spouses. So we're trying to find other means to make ourselves accessible. And we could not do what we do. Our veterans could not receive the benefits that we're receiving if we did not have a local office. And I want to add, even though we're only serving about 33% of our veterans here, they bring in $72 million in financial resources here in Durham County. That's significant, but we think there's more to be gotten, and we want to help them get those benefits.
Absolutely. Now, talk a little bit about how you provide the services. I know you do a lot of work in the office, but I can imagine you get out in the community as well. Is that true?
I'm going to let John, yes, we do, but I'm going to let Jonathan, since he's our outreach, talk about what he does.
Okay.
Yes, we do go out into the community. In fact, that is something that we are trying to do more of. We recognize that maybe 8:30 to 5 on a Monday through Friday basis is not ideal hours for everyone, particularly if you have a job or family. It may be hard to come to visit us at our time. So what we want to do is we want to meet folks where they are and try to make ourselves more accessible to folks in the community. And one event that I'm very excited that's coming up is our outreach event that we are doing in partnership with the Bahama Roriton Club. That's going to take place on Saturday, October 13th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we're going to be there to answer any questions that veterans, their dependents, or their survivors may have. And if some of those folks need help filing a claim right there on the spot, we will do that. So those are some of the things that we are trying to do more of. We want more folks to come and at least know that these services are out here and they can make the choice for themselves whether to utilize them or not.
Well, that's really good news that you're going out into the community and having that fair and just letting people come in and get what they need from you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. We're glad you're using the community outreach approach. And so, you spoke a little bit about this, Lois. It sounds like it's not just the person who served that benefits, but also to think about the family members, the children, the spouses. What are some of the services that you provide just to the extended family? What does that look like?
So our surviving spouses of veterans, if their spouse served on active duty during the wartime period, didn't have to be in combat, but just have to serve during the wartime period, that surviving spouse may be potentially eligible for what we call pension. Pension is a benefit that is afforded for someone who has little or no income. That in itself can be deceiving because you can have $9,000 and be potentially eligible if you're staying someplace like Crowsdale and you're paying all of that for your cost of care in assisted living or nursing home, then VA will compensate you X number of dollars for a single veteran. I'm not sure the exact dollar, but it's about $1,758. If you're a married couple, it's a little over $2,000. For a surviving spouse who may be living at home, and you don't have to be in a facility. You may be at home in need of some assistance with daily living. We call it pension. In need of aid and attendance. Aid and attendance is not a person, it is money. That surviving spouse may be in home and needs some assistance. So therefore, there is an additional monetary dollar amount that might be able to assist that surviving spouse. $1,154 may not be much to some of us, but it could be significant. It could make a significant difference in the quality of life for that surviving spouse.
Absolutely, especially people on fixed incomes.
Yeah. So who are some of the partners that you cooperate with to get your word out, Jonathan?
Well, the Harvin-Ravin Club is at the top of our list with our event coming up, but we work closely with many folks in different departments of the Durham VA. They are oftentimes a first stop for veterans who are inquiring about benefits, and so they oftentimes can help put us in touch with folks who really need them. There are some housing partners in the community that we work closely with, like Volunteers of America and Supportive Services for Veteran Families program. They provide housing to homeless veterans. And there's many more that I could name, but would take up the whole segment.
Yeah. So how many veterans do you assist each year? I think you mentioned that earlier, but just reinforce that, please.
Well, Durham County has 14,900 something veterans in the community. Last year, we probably submitted a little over 2,100 something claims. But in terms of the number of veterans that we serve for a variety, well in excess of 4,000, 5,000 veterans that we either talk to over the phone, because by the way, I do applications over the phone for some of our veterans who are incapacitated that can't make it in. So we do telephone calls, we do visit, we do outreach, and I do want to put a plug in. Durham County has been afforded an opportunity by the Department of Veterans Affairs to do an outreach program that is specifically targeted to address our veterans who have never, ever filed a claim before. So we can put a dent in that 77% of those veterans that have not been seen. So VA is going to be in town, so look out. We're coming.
All right. Well, we'll need to make sure we know about that and help get the word out about that. So are you seeing an increase in the number of female veterans, and what are their needs, and are they different than maybe other members of the veteran population?
We are, and obviously, no, I shouldn't say obviously, because men have a single parent as well, but statistically, women come with children. They have child care needs. They have a much more difficult time in accessing housing, where Jonathan is familiar with the transitional housing. You can put 4 guys in a room. Well, when you have kids, you can't put women in a room when they have children. So they do have some special needs that sometimes we're not able to address on the spot. So that is a need. Child care. And housing, transition housing isn't a good fit for our female veteran. And of course, military sexual trauma, we call it MST, it is a driving force for us. We see a great deal of that, and we have to address that as well.
So I've not heard that term before, MST. So Jonathan and Lois, what are you most proud of in your work with Veterans Affairs, Durham County Veterans Affairs?
Well, I'm most proud of our customer service. We do a great job putting together the paperwork and submitting it, but I think what distinguishes us from others is the degree of caring and follow-up in which we approach the men and women who come to us for services. And for that, my goal anyway is to build a long-term relationship. For as long as that veteran or surviving spouse is here in Durham, I want to make sure that they know about the services that they can access, and with the goal of improving their quality of life.
Excellent. Well, we're about out of time. So just one more time, please tell us how people can get in touch with you for additional information should they need that.
Okay. Our office number is 919-560-8387, by the way, 560-VETS, that's what it spells. We're physically located in the Human Services Building, located at 414 East Main Street, downtown Durham. We have guest parking on the corner of Main and Dillard, and we're on the first floor. We're open from 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m.
Well, thank you both so much for what you do to keep our veterans family whole and healthy.
And thank you both.
Yes, thank you so much for the work you do.
Well, we've had a wonderful show.
Yes, it's a great show, and again, great information for our residents about the wonderful programs and services that we offer for people in Durham County.
And we thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you next time on In Touch with Durham County. Cheers.